Everyone, I am Jane Basadre and my topic is all about the life and works of Rizal in Paris to Berlin, and it also talks about his time in Europe during 1885 to 1887 where he pursued his medical studies, particularly in ophthalmology, while immersing himself in European culture. At the top of the first page, there is a poem stanza. So this poem entitled Flowers of Heidelberg. According to this poem na sinulat ni Rizal, sabi rito na, go to my native land, go foreign flowers, meaning to say, he encourages Filipino to return to their homeland, dala-dala yung knowledge or experience na naging in other country or nation. So, it also, this poem expresses love and attachment to the native land or homeland na meron tayo, which is yung Philippines. So, dito, it also described the native land na it is worth to cherish. That's why it encourage dito na Rizal na mag-look back tayo kung saan tayo nanggaling. And proceed on the first paragraph, sinabi dito na after ng pag-aaral ni Rizal sa Madrid, he went to Paris and Germany to pursue or specialize ophthalmology. So, he chooses this field of medicine kasi gusto niyang gamutin yung nanay niyang may sakit sa mata, and naging assistant din si Rizal ng ilan sa mga sikat na doktor sa Europe. So, while he was staying there, continue pa rin yung pagta-travel at pag-observe niya about life and culture ng mga taga-Europe, lalong-lalo na sa Paris, Heidelberg, Leipzig, and Berlin. So, yung Berlin, yun yung naging capital ng Germany where he met and naging kaibigan niya si Dr. Theodor Jagor, Dr. Adolf B. Meyer, Dr. Hans Meyer, and Dr. Rudolf Virchow. So, sino-sino ba yung mga doktor na yon? So, si Dr. Jagor is a German ethnologist, traveler, and naturalist. He is best known for his book, Travels in the Philippines during 1873. While si Dr. Adolf Bernhard Meyer naman is a German anthropologist, ornithologist, and museum director. And si Dr. Rudolf Virchow, he is a renowned German physician, pathologist, and anthropologist. He is known for a father of modern pathology, and he also made a major contribution to the medical science. So, dahil nga sa angking talino ni Rizal, nakilala siya ng mga experts sa Europe as an eminent scientist. Second paragraph naman, sinabi dito na after niya makapagtapos ng pag-aaral sa Universidad Central de Madrid is at the age of 24, si Rizal was already a physician, and he decided to go to Paris para magkaroon pa ng more knowledge about ophthalmology. The third paragraph naman, on his way to Paris, he stopped at Barcelona para bisitahin yung friend niyang si Maximo Viola. So, si Maximo Viola, siya isang medical student at member ng isa sa mga mayayamang pamilya sa San Miguel, Bulacan. So, nagstay si Rizal doon for a week and nakipagkaibigan din siya kay Senyor Eusebio Lorominas. So, he was an editor of the newspaper The Publicidad, and also siya rin yung nag-create ng crayon sketch para doon kay Don Miguel Moraita, the owner of the La Publicidad. On the fourth paragraph naman, sinabi dito na during October 1885, while he stayed in Paris, si Jose Rizal ay nagtrabaho under Dr. Louis de Requet noong 1852 hanggang 1906. So, he trained Rizal para mas magkaroon pa ng knowledge si Rizal sa ophthalmology. So, si Rizal, while he was working doon sa clinic ni Dr. Louis, kapag vacant time niya is bumibisita siya sa bahay ng pamilyang Pardo de Taveras like sina Trinidad, Felix, and Paz. So, he also visited his Ilocano friend na si Juan Luna. So, si Juan Luna, he was a Filipino painter, a sculptor na political activist of the Philippine Revolution during the late 19th century. So, si Luna and Jose Rizal were both prominent figures in the Filipino nationalist movement during the Spanish colonial period. So, later on, si Paz Pardo de Tavera is naging asawa siya ni Juan Luna. So si Paz is meron din siyang album which is merong mga sketches ng story about the monkey and the turtle. Paragraph, sinabi dito na si Rizal is palagi siyang pumupunta sa studio ni Juan Luna to spend his free time and nag-enjoy siya every time he went there kasi palagi silang nagdi-discuss ni Juan Luna about different aspect of art since mahilig talaga si Rizal sa art. So isa rin to sa way niya kung bakit mas na-improve yung pag-create ni Rizal ng mga paintings. And aside from that, tinutulungan niya rin si Luna na sa pamamagitan ng pagiging model sa mga paintings na gawa ni Luna. And one of the artwork na gawa ni Luna is the Death of the Cleopatra. So yung ginawa ni Rizal dito is he posed as an Egyptian priest. So this painting, also known as La Muerte de Cleopatra, was one of his early masterpieces and won a silver medal at the Exposition Nacional de Bellas Artes in Madrid. So Juan Luna's The Death of Cleopatra tells the story of power, loss, and tragic fate. So it shows Cleopatra, the once mighty queen of Egypt, that she is lying lifelessly after choosing to die rather than captured by the Romans. So the painting highlights the fall of a great leader, symbolizing the end of an era. And also meron ding ginawa si Juan Luna na isang painting entitled The Blood Compact. So si Rizal dito is he posed as with si Katuna and Dr. Trinidad Pardik Tavera taking the role of Legazpi. So the painting portrays the moment when the two leaders and the Spanish explorer Miguel Lopez de Legazpi and Dato si Katuna, a chieftain of Bohol, sealed their friendship and trust by drinking wine mixed with their blood, a traditional Filipino ritual known as pakikipag sanduguan. Paragraph naman, dito nakafocus about interest ni Rizal sa music. Although he admitted na wala talaga siyang talent or he is not totally gifted when it comes to music, but he is willing to learn how to sing, how to play instruments because of his classmate in Ateneo na willing din matuto. Kasi yung music, it was a essential part ng mga Filipino gatherings sa Europe, and during November 27, 1887, he told Enrique Let that he learned the solfeggio. So it is a vocal practice using the syllables of sul and fa. He also practiced piano and voice culture in a 1 month and a half. So however, he confessed that he could not sing well. Sabi niya sa letter niya na, if you could hear me sing, you would say you were in Spain because my voice is like a braying of the asses. So ibig sabihin, si Rizal is hindi talaga siya magaling kumanta, and if ever na marinig naman siya nito kumanta, is dinescribe niya yung voice niya na same sa Spain, na maingay and sakit sa tenga yung mga sounds. Pero dahil nga sa determination ni Rizal na matuto, he became a flautist in various impromptu reunions of Filipinos in Madrid and in Paris. So it is said that he composed 3 musical pieces, namely Leonor, which he composed before his departure for Spain. Second is the El Canto del Prisionero. It signifies a poem or song composed by the perspective from someone who is imprisoned, often expressing feelings of confinement, longing for freedom, and despair. And last is the song entitled Alinmang Lahi. So it is a patriotic hymn. The next paragraph naman, which is focuses on the life of Rizal, specifically in Heidelberg. So after maka-acquire ni Rizal ng experience as an ophthalmologist sa clinic ni Dr. Weckert, umalis si Rizal sa Gay Paris, which is yun yung lugar is naging part siya ng happy days ni Rizal. And on February 8, 1886 naman, yun yung time na nakarating siya sa Heidelberg. So yung Heidelberg, it is a historic city in Germany, and kilala ito dahil sa maraming old university and romantic surroundings. So si Rizal is nag-stage siya doon, specifically sa boarding house, kasama yung ibang German law students. And yung mga students na yon is, they found out that Rizal was good in playing chess. Therefore, na-recommend nila ito to be a member of the chess players club. And some biographers mistakenly claim that Rizal studied law at the University of Heidelberg. But the truth is, hindi talaga siya law student. But pumapasok siya doon just to acquire knowledge or out of curiosity. Aside from that, mahilig din si Rizal magmuni-muni or maglakad-lakad, lalo na sa Neckar River. So si Rizal is siya yung type of person na nature lover, kumbaga. And one day, while he was walking, enjoying the peaceful scenario, marami siyang bulaklak na nakita, and one of his favorite flowers is yung tinatawag niyang forget-me-not. So this flower symbolizes love, remembrance, and faithfulness. So yung mga flowers na to sa Heidelberg is isa sa nakapagpaalala sa kanya ng kanyang native land, which is yung Philippines. That's why noong April 22, 1886, he created a poem entitled To the Flowers of Heidelberg. So yung poem na to is entitled To the Flowers of Heidelberg by Jose Rizal. It is a poem that expresses his love and longing for the Philippines while he was studying in Germany. So the poem uses flowers as a symbol of his connections to his homeland. So si Rizal, he asked flowers to carry messages of love, peace, and faith to his family and country. So he compares himself to a flower that loses its fragrance when far from its native soil. And through this poem, he expresses his longing to return to the Philippines to serve his people. Rizal, during his time in Heidelberg, nag-work siya sa clinic na Dr. Javier Galizowski. So si Dr. Javier, he was a famous Polish ophthalmologist, and he also studied under Dr. Otto Becker, a leading German expert in eye diseases. So yung period na to is crucial siya for Rizal kasi mas nadagdagan yung knowledge niya in ophthalmology and to help treat his mother's worsening blindness. And during his free time naman is gumagawa siya ng mga caricatures. So when we say caricatures, it is a humorous or exaggerated sketches of people and scenes. So ito yung ginagawa ni Rizal during his spare time in Heidelberg. And one of his notable sketches depicted two German boys playing near a pond, showcasing his keen observation and artistic skills. July 31, 1886 naman, while si Rizal was in Heidelberg, he wrote his first letter in German to Blumentritt, who was the director of the Ateneo of Litmeritz in Austria. So nalaman ni Rizal na si Blumentritt is pinag-aaralan niya yung Philippine language and had even published works about Philippines. So in Rizal's first letter, in-introduce niya yung sarili niya doon, and he expressed his admiration about sa mga gawa ni Blumentritt. Para masuportahan niya si Blumentritt, Rizal sent him a book entitled Arithmetic by Rufino Baltasar Hernandez. So it was written both in Spanish and Tagalog. And after ma-receive ni Blumentritt yung letter ni Rizal, ay natuwa naman ito sa kanya, and he responded by sending him 2 books as a gift. So yung pag-exchange nila ng letters is that it was the beginning of their strong friendship. Arithmetica was about the basic mathematical concept including addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So it served as a guide for students learning arithmetic, so making it accessible to both Spanish and Tagalog speaking. So the book's bilingual format was significant because it helped in the education of Filipinos at the time when the Spanish was dominant language in school, but many still primarily spoke Tagalog. 5th centenary of Heidelberg University naman, in August 6, 1886, ito yung grand event or celebration ng Heidelberg as their 500th anniversary. So this was a grand event marking their 5 centuries of academic excellence. So si Rizal, he considered himself as fortunate kasi he was able to witness the historic celebration. However, naging bittersweet moment for him kasi he was set to leave the city just 2 days later. So as we all know naman, na minahal talaga ni Rizal yung Heidelberg, not just only the beautiful scenery but also the hospitable people. So sa diary niya, nirecord niya yung mga events during grand celebration. So this showed how much he valued knowledge, culture, and history even he was far from his home. So moving forward naman, after makaalis ni Rizal sa Heidelberg, on August 8, 1886, 2 days after the 5th centenary celebration of the University of Heidelberg, sumakay si Rizal sa train and he visited various cities of Germany and nakarating siya sa Leipzig on August 14, 1886. So while he was staying there, he attended at the University of Leipzig on history and psychology. That's why dalawa sa mga profession ni Rizal is historian and psychologist. And that time, naging kaibigan niya rin si Professor Friedrich Ratzel. So he was a famous German historian. So malaki din ang ambag ni Professor Friedrich kay Rizal sa pamamagitan kasi sa kanya is mas broad yung idea ni Rizal about geopolitics and nationalism. And also yung idea niya is nakatulong kay Rizal when it comes on understanding the colonialism, independence, and the fate of the Philippines under Spanish rule. And so nag-stay si Rizal sa Leipzig from August 14 to October 29, 1886. So in this German city, he translated Schiller's William Tell from German to Tagalog para mas maintindihan ng mga Pilipino doon about yung story paano nagkaroon ng independence yung mga taga-Switzerland under the Austrian colonization. So yung story ni William Tell is siya yung naging resistance against Austrian oppression. So this story is similar siya sa Spanish colonization in the Philippines. So si Rizal is marami siyang story na na-translate from German to Tagalog. Isa na dyan yung mga fairy tales ni Hans Andersen para maintindihan ng kanyang mga pamangkin. October 29 naman, umalis si Rizal sa Leipzig and he went to Dresden. It is one of the cities in Germany and doon niya nakilala si Dr. Adolf B. Meyer, the director of the Anthropological and Ethnological Museum. And they welcomed Rizal in Berlin Scientific Circle. So, grabe yung pagka-amaze ni Rizal sa lugar na to kasi nakita niya na ang lugar na to is free from prejudice or discrimination. So, dito nakilala niya si Dr. Fyodor Jagor, who was a German scientist, traveler, and author din siya ng mga travel book about Philippines, which is isa sa mga nakahiligang basahin ni Rizal during his student days in Manila. So, si Dr. Jagor had been in the Philippines when Rizal was a boy. Doon sa book na na-publish sa Berlin na ginawa ni Dr. Jagor, hinulaan niya na time will come is dadating ang mga taga-Amerika sa Pilipinas. So si Rizal is mayroong letter na binigay kay Dr. Jagor na galing kay Blumentritt. So sa letter na yon is doon nakasulat yung personal information ni Rizal. And in turn, si Dr. Jagor naman is in-introduce niya si Rizal kay Dr. Rudolf Virchow, who was a famous German anthropologist, and his son, Dr. Hans Virchow, a professor of descriptive anatomy. So doon niya rin nakilala si Dr. Joest, a German geographer, and nag-work si Rizal sa clinic ni Dr. Skulzer, a famous German anthropologist. And after that experience ni Rizal sa clinic ni Dr. R. Skulzer, he became a member of Anthropological Society and Geographical Society of Berlin. So, upon recommendation of Dr. Meyer and Dr. Jagor, so yung pagiging member ni Rizal was a scientific recognition and his intellect and scientific contribution. Dr. Virchow, na-recognize niya yung katalinuhan ni Rizal. Because of that, he invited Rizal na mag-share or mag-speech about sa Tagalog in front of Anthropological Society of Berlin. So as a response doon sa invitation ni Virchow, he wrote a scholarly paper in German with the title of Tagakischi Verkon. So yun yung tinatawag na Tagalog metrical art. Ibig sabihin, ito ay sining ng pagsusulat ng tulang Tagalog. And during April 1887, is present niya itong sinulat niya sa lipunan, and the society also published it in the same year. And yung mga gawa ni Rizal is naka-receive ng mga positive comments came from different scientists' quarters. And ito naman yung life ni Rizal sa Berlin. So in Berlin, Rizal was not a mere student or a curious tourist. He lived in this famous capital or unified Germany for 5 reasons. First is to gain further knowledge of ophthalmology. Second is to further his studies of sciences and language. Third is to observe the condition of German nations. And fourth, to associate with German scientists and scholars. And last, to finish his novel, Noli Me Tangere. So, Rizal was living disciplined while he was staying in Berlin. Kapag morning, nagtatrabaho siya sa clinic ni Dr. Skolzer. Sa gabi naman is he attended lectures in the University of Berlin. And doon sa pamamahay na tinutuluyan niya is palagi siyang nag-exercise, and he always practice speaking German, French, English, and Italian kasi nga he is known for being a linguist. And also, he wanted to master or maging fluent sa French so that he may be able to write it as well as sa Spanish. And also, he took private lesson under a professor of French, Madame Lucie Girdol, in order to master the idiomatic intricacies of the French language. So aside from perfecting his academic studies, he attended daily exercise in Berlin Gymnasium to develop his body. And during his vacant time naman, he spent it by touring in the countryside of Berlin. So by that, naging observant siya about sa customs, pananamit, and kung anong klaseng tirahan ang hanap buhay ng mga peasants sa Berlin. And also, gumawa din siya ng mga sketch ng mga bagay na kita niya doon. Nag-enjoy din siya sa mamasyal sa Unter den Berlin, isang sikat na boulevard doon. German women. So, one of his important letters written while he was in Germany was that addressed to his sister. So, yung kapatid niya na si Trinidad, so sa letter na ito is he expressed his high regard and admiration about German women. So sa sulat ni Rizal is he told his sister na yung mga German women daw is serious, diligent, educated, and friendly. Ibang-iba sa mga Spanish women like mga chismosa, pabaya, or mga palaway. Yung mga babae sa German is hindi mahilig manamit ng mga elegant dresses or magsuot ng mga expensive jewelries, pero kaya rin nilang makipagsabayan sa ibang mga babae sa mundo kung sasadyain nila. And also, Rizal regretted that in the Philippines that women are more interested in how they dress than in how much they know. Pero na-appreciate naman ni Rizal kung paano yung mga babae sa Pilipinas is naging mahinhin, mabait, makajos, at higit sa lahat ay yung marunong tumanggap sa kanilang kapwa Pilipino. So, most especially, yung mga tao na nasa province na hindi pa ganun na-impluensyahan ng may mga power. So, according kay Rizal, yung mga babae, in order na makagain ng respect sa mga lalaki, is kinakailangan na meron itong knowledge or meron itong interest. And that's why, sa letter ni Rizal, binigyan niya ng advice ang kanyang kapatid na dapat mag-aral itong mabuti, magbasa at matuto. Huwag pairalin yung katamaran kasi madaling alisin yung knowledge na meron ka kapag pinairal mo ang katamaran sa iyong sarili. So in German custom naman, aside from German women, Rizal also admired the German custom, which is yun yung na-observe niya. So isa sa mga tumatak kay Rizal is kung paano nagsiselebrate ng Christmas ang mga tao sa German. On his Julitrud custom, sinulat ni Rizal na during Christmas Eve, yung mga tao sa German is mahilig sila sa pine tree. Hindi lang yung normal na street pine tree, but also yung maraming dahon na hindi agad nalalagas. Same din dito sa Pilipinas na nilalagyan ng mga lanterns, papers, lights, dolls, and candies, fruits, and at iba pa, and shown at the night to the child. Around this tree is made of the family observance. So another interesting German custom observed by Rizal is yung self-introduction to strangers in a social gathering. So in Germany, when a man attends a social function and finds that there is nobody to introduce him to other guests, he bows his head to the guest. So he introduces himself and shakes the hand of everyone in the room. So according to the German code of etiquette, it is bad manner for a guest to remain aloof and wait for his host or hostess to make the proper introductions. So in German custom naman, aside from German women, Rizal also admired the German custom, which is yun yung na-observe niya. So isa sa mga tumatak kay Rizal is kung paano nagsiselebrate ng Christmas ang mga tao sa German. on his Yuletide custom, sinulat ni Rizal na during Christmas Eve, yung mga tao sa German is mahilig sila sa pine tree. Hindi lang yung normal na street pine tree, but also yung maraming dahon na hindi agad nalalagas. Same din dito sa Pilipinas na nilalagyan ng mga lanterns, papers, lights, dolls, and candies, fruits, and at iba pa, and shown at the night to the child around this tree is made of the family observance. So another interesting German custom observed by Rizal is yung self-introduction to strangers in a social gathering. So in Germany, when a man attends a social function and finds that there is nobody to introduce him to other guests, he bows his head to the guest. So he introduces himself and shakes the hand of everyone in the room. So according to the German code of etiquette, it is bad manner for a guest to remain aloof and wait for his host or hostess to make the proper introductions. He was staying in Berlin, naka-experience din siya ng crisis. So ito yung tinatawag na Rizal's darkest winter. So nakaranas si Rizal ng paghihirap, kakulangan sa pera galing sa Calamba, and yung diamond na singsing ng pag-aari ng kanyang kapatid na si Saturnina ay nasa sanglaan na din. So, nabenta na din ng second hand ang kanyang mga books, and dumating din yung time na di na siya kakapagbayad sa kanyang tinitirhan, and that's why ginawa niya is nagtipid. So, he only eat 1 meal a day. That meal consisted of bread and water and some cheap vegetable soup. So, gusot and luma na rin ang kanyang mga damit, and siya rin ang naglalaba kasi he cannot afford na magpa-laundry. So, doon naman sa Calamba, grabe yung paghahanap ng pera ng kanyang nakakanta ng kapatid na si Pasiano para lang may padala kay Rizal. Kasi alam niyang grabe yung crisis na na-experience ng kanyang kapatid. So, umabot na din sa point si Pasiano na nalugi ng kanilang mga negosyo, and si Rizal is nalilipasan na rin ng gutom sa Berlin. That's why naapektuhan yung physical health niya, and nagsimula na din siyang ubuhin, and he was afraid of having tuberculosis. That's why his soul cried out in despair. So, yung experience ni Rizal, if pagsama-samahin natin from Paris to Berlin, is marami siyang experience. Not just hindi lang sa pag-improve ng knowledge niya, hindi lang sa pag-acquire ng knowledge niya about ophthalmology, but also yung observation niya from different culture, from different customs na meron ng taga-ibang bansa, is nagamit niya rin ito sa kanyang totoong buhay. And that's all po. Thank you.